We're now going to look at pneumatic trainer exercise 1C. You can see we've got a lot of hoses here now. And I'm not going to trace each and individual line with you on the video. You'll need to follow your schematic as before. Have it checked over by your instructor if you'd like to make sure that it's accurate before you operate it. I've already connected and turned on the air pressure to the system. I'll point out some of the new components on this system. You notice we're back to two separate air supplies for this particular exercise. Now, one air supply is being supplied to our two-position control valve, which is sending the air in one of two locations. In this case, this particular control valve is not going to supply the air that's actually operating our piston on our actuator. In this case, this particular control valve, which could be up on a tower of an operator operating a piece of machinery, may be a long way away from that piece of machinery. All it's supplying is a signal to one side or the other of what's called this remote pilot operated control valve. So these air signals are replacing my hands, so to speak. So there's not a lot of airflow going to be traveling. So this allows us the advantage of, this may be a very long distance from where that operator is operating this control valve. And that long distance could cause a sluggish reaction of the piece of equipment because of the long distance that the air has to travel. So this particular control valve, remotely operated one, would be positioned very close to the actual work that was being done by the actuator. And it is also supplied with an air supply in close proximity in the plant to this particular pilot operated valve. Now, when I send a signal, it will move the position of this control valve, which then can quite quickly supply air to one end or the other of the cylinder. Also, the end is not being supplied can also exhaust quite quickly through this particular control valve because of its close proximity to the actuator. So, let's demonstrate. Again, notice the difference in the speed due to two functions. Once again, we have these previously adjusted needle valves in the system, and also remember that the rod end of the cylinder as well as the cap end of the cylinder have a difference in area, therefore they will fill or exhaust at a different rate. One more time. This particular control valve is just sending a signal to move the position of this. This is called pilot operated. This is the pilot valve operating this particular control valve. When I let go, the spring released it and pushed the cylinder inside the directional control valve in the opposite direction.